Hello, everyone. My name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today, we are doing the 19th episode of the Withering Watchpile. Today, our theme is demon possession or evil spirit movies. The topic was chosen by CultFlixFix24. Welcome back. This was a very exciting topic for me because I didn't realize how little demon possession movies I had. And I had to really stretch the definition. Finally, I was like, can I just have evil spirits? So I have way more movies with those. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Welcome.
Well, thanks, Christian, for having me again, man. It's always fun time. I love to chat films, and I'm really excited as well because this is like a genre that honestly I wasn't a big fan of when I started watching horror films, but it's like grown on me. Like now that I should say older, I've gotten more interested in it. I don't, and I've always been a fan of like possession films now, or like demonic force, or like just evil entities at all, whatever you want to call it there. But it all works for me. But yeah, right away when I look at this genre, I think The Exorcist, and then it follows after that movie to me. So
Oh, I love It Follows. I
yeah,
didn't even
stuff like
think
that.
about watching that.
Yeah, uh, but yeah, I'm real excited for this. Thanks for having me again, man. It's always fun.
Yeah. So I don't know about your ranking. We've actually haven't talked at all about our movies. I think we've said like, oh, it was pretty good, or just very vague statements. But all three of mine range from very good to some of my favorite movies I've seen. So
Oh wow.
this is a much better than the last episode where the Battle of the Box Sets, where all three of the movies sucked. The special features were a lot more interesting, but still like, oh my gosh, these people are full of it. So I don't know how your ranking is, but since you chose the topic, I'll let you go first.
Okay, well I'm gonna go from again worst to best, but I didn't have a bad one in this one. It's a big improvement. And I had confidence in the Arrow box set last week, and it just not a couple weeks ago, but it just let me down big time. But this is an improvement. So I look forward to. I'll start off with this first movie, and this is the one that was average to me. And
Hmm.
let me show the edition off. This is from a Dark Force Entertainment. It's Magletana.
Oh,
It's
I think I've
a,
heard of that.
and then it goes by another several titles. There's the Devil's Female. I don't know if you can see that glare. Apologize for that,
Oh.
but and then we have Beyond the Darkness. I don't know how many films have been called that, but that's another title for it. And this is a straight up Exorcist ripoff,
Hmm.
and it's I thought it was Italian when I first saw it, but
Hmm.
it's actually German. It's a German horror film, so
Ooh.
that kind of blew my mind. But yeah, this director is Walter Booz, and he directed a lot of erotic films in the 70s, German erotic films, which is
Ooh.
different. But he had, I guess, a series called The Schoolgirl Reports, which I could see Vinegar Syndrome releasing. I don't know how they have it,
A
but
box set of that.
yeah, it has like naughty schoolgirls on the cover and stuff like that,
Hey, they've
nude
done
spank.
Girls School Screamers. Same
And
kind of title.
that's what it. I could just see Vinegar Syndrome releasing these. So it's this is a sleazy one. It's pretty much about a girl's father that's brutally murdered, and he's hung like kind of like on the cross, the way Jesus was with the
Ooh, he's
spikes and
crucified.
crucified. There you go. And they have him hung like that at the beginning.
Ooh.
And I guess since this happens, there's like a possession within those nails that are in him, and it transfers to his daughter. So she's possessed now, and she's like at this party, and she just collapses. Like once her dad dies, she collapses. So it's really unique. Um, and of course, she gets possessed by a powerful demon. We all know this story, but anyways, it she's like this real timid, nice girl, real beautiful girl, and she turns into this whole other side once that demon takes over her. She's constantly taking her clothes off and
Oh my god.
seducing men, and it plays this like awkward beat when she's getting possessed. It reminded me of an Italian horror film. It's just real strange, and it's funny because it'll just zoom in on her face and you just see like her face sweating, and I guess that's when she's possessed or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just real strange, but yeah, she's just she gets like these two drunk guys to like leave a bar and seduce him, and then she gets them to turn on each other, and like one of the guys brutally murders the other one, and she's there laughing in the corner, like she's real, seductive and evil. That's what the demon's making her do. And there's this guy, like this doctor, that's real in love with her, and he's just backing her up no matter what, and she keeps screwing him over, but he still keeps coming back to her, like he's just, I guess, madly in love with her. So, and he knows it's not her, so he's trying to solve what's going on. And it goes from a psychiatrist trying to cure her because they don't believe in no, possession or stuff like
It's a
that.
common theme.
It's science to them pretty much. So, but after a while, the psychiatrist starts to believe there's some evil inside her. So he starts to take the church route and defeat this evil demon that's inside her. So it starts with like an exorcism, but there's some pretty good, I'd say, decent kills. But this is a very sleazy film. Like you see a lot of nudity and I wouldn't say extreme, but like you get your your TNA and all that, But yeah, I thought this one was a lot of fun. It's very unique. It's one of the better, so bad it's good Exorcist ripoffs. Because the dialogue's real bad. I mean, it's sometimes it looks like the actors aren't even putting any effort. Like there's no, how would you call it when enthusiasm or whatever you call it?
No passion.
But, yeah, but yeah, I got a quote from the film. There's a prostitute walking down the street, and this drunk guy's just like all over her, and she's like, he gives her $10 and tells her what he could do with that. And so she's like, "Come on, are you kidding? For that stinking amount, I wouldn't even let you smell it." She tells him that, and he's like, "What?" He just like his jaw drops. He's like, "Why the fuck would I want to smell it?" And she's like, "You couldn't even get that." She just walks away.
Sounds like an Italian movie.
Yeah. Like I didn't find out this was a German film till afterwards. I was like, this is Italian, the whole film. But it's worth the watch for its bizarreness because it's real bizarre, and it's some pretty good eye candy throughout this one as well. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. And it's a Magletana from 1974.
Ooh.
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I like those bizarre, sleazy Italian. I keep saying Italian, German horror film, but
yeah,
if you come across it, it's definitely worth a watch.
Okay, I think it's on Shudder because I've heard of that movie somewhere. Maybe
Could
it was
be.
in a haul video. I don't know. But
yeah.
So,
but
anything else?
It's an average film. Average film, 3 out of 5 for me.
Okay. Average is pretty good.
Yeah. It's worth the watch.
At least in the cult films. It's like average means something's worth seeing. There's something in there.
Yeah, there's some.
But
some fun.
So my first movie is one that I saw weeks ago that I was kind of going back and forth. Because I think we were going to record last week and then I wasn't able to do it or something. And I'm very happy we did because this one started off very well. Started the ranking very well. And this is the 1995 film by director Shinichi Fukasawa. This is the Visual Vengeance, body muscle builder in hell. It's a very hard title to say. But this one is exactly what people say it is, the Japanese Evil Dead. I'll just read the back of the box of what the story is. And note here that this is the first time ever in North America that there's even a release of this. So this is a very kind of rare, never before seen movie. Trapped inside a haunted house, a bodybuilder must survive a blood-soaked night of insanity to save himself and his friends from a demonic ghost that is hellbent on revenge, culminating in a show-stopping and truly bizarre gore effects bonanza that is often compared to the Sam Raimi Evil Dead classics, which inspired it. This movie is basically Evil Dead. They have the Necronomicon, they have the witch that is in the basement. They have everything. Everything in this movie is Evil Dead, but it's with a Japanese flair, where it's like you're watching a Toru Ishii film. It's very bloody. This is probably one of the best shots where a guy's eye gets stabbed through the back of his head, pokes the eye out like this, and then goes back in, and then the eyeball falls. Like in one
Awesome.
solid motion, and it looks like the guy's actual eye got stabbed. This is also 60 minutes long, which is wonderful. You can watch this every day and not be drained at all. Unfortunately, I did not go into the special features. I just wasn't thinking about it. I wanted to rewatch this. This is what I kept saying I was going to rewatch, and finally I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do that. And had I known it was 62 minutes long, because I saw this weeks ago, I would have watched it again. But it's awesome. I really enjoyed it. This should be in my number 2, but because I have next to nothing to say, I have it first so that the other ones can be more fun to listen to. But Visual Vengeance is a great company. I have every release now of this. And nice. I've only ever also seen... I'm trying to reach for it. Yep. The Necrophiles, which is another demon ghost movie. But with the...
Was that one good? I'm curious about that one.
It's interesting. It's not bad. It's also 60-something minutes. 72 minutes. But there's a flying zombie baby that fights with Satan or something. It's bizarre as fuck. I love it in that regard. But again, it's okay. I mean...
Are the zombies like rapey in that film? Because I heard they're like rapey zombies. Or
yes.
Is that even true?
I vaguely remember rapey zombies, but come to think of it, yeah. And it's shot on video, so you don't get many great acting or anything in that movie. But it's very fun, and there's a lot of passion, and it comes through the screen watching it. And it's the same thing for Bodybuilder, Muscle Builder, Body in Hell. Whatever that title is. It's a tongue twister for sure. But I was shocked that this was 1995 because the Evil Dead films are, I think, early 80s, 82 to like 85, I think, with Army of Darkness like pushing to the 90s. I thought this movie was like happening at the same time, like in a response to Evil Dead 1, but it wasn't. It was 1995, a year before I was born. Like, if you want to feel aged.
The 90s.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I recommend everyone watch it. I didn't give it like a 5 out of 5. I think maybe I gave it a 4.5. And that was just mostly because it was just so fun. Let me see.
I got that one on the shelf. I just haven't seen it yet.
It's pretty good. There it is. So I gave it 4 stars. And I just said it was a lovely and bloody good tribute to Evil Dead. Which it is. I'm trying to remember if there's a chainsaw hand in it. There may have been. I don't know, but it's kind of like The Grudge too, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
It looks like the same house, which kind of blew me away because they were made around the same time. I think The Grudge is of course way up there on the shelf, but yeah, I mean, it's a great Japanese horror movie, but it's actually fun. So, I don't have anything else to add. It's just really good.
I need to get to that. I've been interested about that film.
It's only 60 minutes long. That's like a TV episode.
Yeah, it's like you're watching a episode, like a show or something.
Yeah. So what's your number 2?
But if it works on its benefit, you know.
You can watch it any day, really.
Okay. All right. Let's get to my number 2 here. And this was the surprise. This was like the big surprise out of my bunch. Because I went into this movie like saying I'm probably going to turn it off within 30 minutes. This is actually a Dollar Tree pickup.
Oh my gosh. Now I know why you were hesitant. Cover. Oh god.
Cleansing Hour. And this is a Shudder exclusive.
Okay, that's why it's good. It's Shudder.
Yeah, that's why it picked up. But man, this film surprised me. I really enjoyed this one for some it's just fun. It's one to turn your brain off and just enjoy. But it's a 2019 film, Cleansing Hour, and this is about Max and Drew. They host this like reality show on TV about exorcisms. Ooh. And they're about trying to like skyrocket their their views and ratings, and they'll go to any extreme to do it. So they're doing fake exorcism shows pretty much and
Oh,
getting
okay.
tricking people. So
We brought back
I
Jeffrey
mean,
Dahmer.
yeah,
We
stuff like
contacted his
that.
ghost.
It's just so bizarre. And then they're selling like these church cloths. That's like
Hmm.
their promotion where they're making money, and you see people just wearing church cloths on their
I
shoulder, and
hope they sell
fans of the
holy
show
water.
and stuff like that. Well, it's funny because he's using holy water, but he admits in the film that he got it from his bathroom. He's like, I got it off the bathroom, and it's crazy. But anyways, it gets down to this episode where they're like shortly staffed, and I guess the actress didn't show up.
Hmm.
So the best friend Drew has to use his fiance because they have no one to fill in the shoes. So they put her on they have him like tied to this chair, and they're like doing the exorcism and all that. And but I guess turns like this like I guess this it's like a ball, but it's made of hair that just appears in their area, and I guess that's what starts the possession,
Hmm.
and actually really possesses the fiance. She really gets a demon inside her. So everything that went out is real. And I mean, you got Max, the other friend. He's like this playboy. He's the priest, but he's actually he's fake. He's a playboy that goes to the bar and he has multiple women. And Drew's the one woman man, the faithful guy. He's all in love with his fiance, and they're best friends. But anyways, it turns into this fiance getting possessed, and that's when all hell breaks loose. They start to like you get some kills. You got staff members getting possessed.
Hmm.
You got giant rats with fangs coming out of it and coming out of the closets, and it's all controlled by this demon that's inside her. So it takes like a brand new how could I say, a brand new thing to this exorcism. It's different, unique, and I just thought it was a blast. I mean, some of the effects are CGI, but it's like done well.
Hmm.
And then you got like some practical effects as well. You got a lot of bloodshed. Uh, when the person gets possessed, you see blood coming out of their forehead, just shooting out, and it's pretty cool. But it leads to them playing a game with this demon. They have to admit stuff from their past, and
Hmm.
it brings up controversy where they're all turning on each other. It's the demon's plan, but man, it has one heck of an ending. I'm not gonna get into it, but you have a lot of like creatures and stuff I like, and I just thought this one was a complete blast, man. It surprised me because I went into this with the lowest expectations, and I came out surprised. I was like, damn, this is a solid film.
And that was a like Dollar Tree DVD.
Yeah, Dollar Tree DVD in it.
That's like the
Even came,
bottom of the barrel.
came with a slipcover too. So
Oh, exclusive Dollar Tree boutique
yeah,
release.
but I guess the demon in this film was named Malthus, and it's really
Hmm.
in demon mythology. I guess it's in the real book, that demon, and it's
Hmm.
one that I guess he's considered the underboss in hell from Satan, and he's
Ooh.
the one that brings the army, like he controls the army, like Satan's army or whatever. But I guess his motive is he appears as a raven. They say if you would see him, he'd be a raven that turns, I guess, demonic, whatever. But
Hmm.
I guess this was a short film turned into an actual film by this
Ah.
director. But yeah, it was. I mean, this was very wasn't a big budget, but man, they used what they could to put this one together pretty good.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was surprised. I like this one. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5, solid 3.5.
Hmm.
And I mean, this one didn't bore me at all. I was into it the whole time. There were some moments where you're like cringy, but it's 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 worth the watch too. Like I could say, this is the reason this ain't my top film is because the next one really impressed me. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all I got to say about the Cleansing Hour. You could probably check it out on Shutter. I think it's on there as well.
Cool. Well, I can get into my number two. And this is one that
Uh,
I had no idea actually was a ghost possession film. And I saw on the back it had the word "is the house" or the sentence "is the house itself possessed." And I said, "Oh my goodness, it's a possession film." And I watched it tonight, And I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty good overall. And this is the Mario Bava film from 1985, I think. 77. Shock.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was some pacing issues. Daria Nickelodeon is in her best role, in my opinion,
Love
and
her.
the story itself is very kind of tropey. Everybody has seen it before. Family moves into a new house. The kid is creepy. Weird things start happening, and it slowly ramps up to the final ending. And the ending to this one is actually pretty awesome. I really enjoyed the last like 10 minutes or so. But there's a 20-minute gap somewhere before the ending, but after the first hour, that is so just kind of sloggy. Whereas Daria Nickelodeon wandering around the house. But I'll read the story of what this movie is about. Dora, played by Daria Nickelodeon, who's in Deep Red, the movie that actually got her this job, moves back into her old family home with her husband, Bruno, who is played by Josh Steiner, who is in Tenebrae, and Marco, her young son, from her previous marriage. And he's played by David Collin Jr., who is in Beyond the Door, because this movie is marketed in America as Beyond the Door 2, which nobody was understanding of when it first came out that was involved in the movie. But domestic bliss proves elusive as numerous strange and disturbing occurrences transpire. While Dora is haunted by a series of nightmares and hallucinations, many of them involving her dead former husband. Is the house itself possessed? Or does Dora's increasingly fragile grip on reality originate from somewhere far closer to home? Sounds exactly like every possession ghost film ever. Except it's made by Mario Bava, not Dario Mava. Just to kind of read my notes as I watched the movie, I said there was lots of bizarre dubbing in the beginning of the movie, but there was a lot of awesome music, which I'll get into later. And I said there's a odd scene somewhat early in the movie where Marco the son is on top of Daria Nickelodeon and he's like grunting as if he's like fucking her. And this is like a 7 or 8 year old boy, and it was so awkward. I was like, what is going on? And the movie just goes on from there, and it's because that's kind of our first hint that he is possessed by the ghost of the former dead husband. We don't know if it's actually, we don't really get an explicit answer. I think there was, because I don't want to entertain the idea that it's just a descent into madness. I want my ghosts and demons in my movies. But at one point, soon after that, we get our first kind of reveal of the possessed father, who we get like a POV shot of Daria Nickelodeon sleeping. You see the young boy's hand reach out, and then it goes away, and then a ghost hand with like sores and blood and black fingernails and like all this stuff come out, and it's like stroking her, and it like goes away. It's a really awesome, creepy shot. I really enjoyed that one. I commented here that the father is super annoying and very misogynistic because he is just constantly countering everything that Daria Nickelodeon is saying, her character. And he is just like, oh, you woman, you ruin marriages because you don't give me coffee on the way out to work. And like all this stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, like 1970s misogyny. like, I'm done with this. But he's gone for actually most of the movie, shockingly. And there's a pretty awesome point because this new husband is actually a airplane pilot. And so while he's flying a plane, and we get like a really low budget shot of like, it's like an underhead shot where you can't see outside the windows because then you would just see the parking lot. But you see a bunch of people sitting in chairs, and the guy is sitting there, you know, with the little airplane steering wheel. One thing on the essay, which I'll talk about, is that Mario Bava was very well known for being very thrifty with his budget and going under budget every time. And so I think that's how he was able to do that. But the kid is on the swing set, and he sneakily puts the face of his new father on the swing set, and then he starts swinging the set itself, and immediately the plane is like, whatever they call it, having turbulence. It's just like going up and down, everyone's screaming, the masks are coming off, and the father's like, I can't control the plane. And it's like getting insane. And then the Daria Nickelodeon, his mom, comes out and is like, hey, it's time, for cookies or, whatever, being, stay at home mom. And he's like, okay, and he stops it. And then they're like, oh, I can fly the plane again. Oh, that was weird, wasn't it? And I was like, that is such a weird thing. How did the ghost be able to do that? Like, just by putting his face on the swing set and then swinging it. It was really bizarre. It's an Italian scene where you don't need explanations. It's a really cool scene, and that's all you need. And this is around the time when the movie really slows down for about 20 to 30 minutes. Whereas Daria Nickelodeon seemingly becoming more convinced that there's a ghost in the house, and she has to convince the husband, and the son is being weird. He keeps disappearing and then killing people, and it's just okay. And the music is very drony in this section, because for most of the movie, every time the music comes in, it's very like Goblin like, and it ends up that Goblin didn't do the music. It was a band called E Libra, which I'll just talk about that now instead of waiting for the essay. But the drummer of Goblin had left and formed this band, so it was basically Goblin Volume 2, I guess, version 2. So that's why the music is so awesome in this movie, because you have the drummer doing the awesome drumming that Goblin is known for. The drumming and the keyboards, I think, are the best parts of Goblin, so it's nice that half of the talent went and did this movie, because it's really good. There's a very bizarre reveal of where the evil spirit comes from, which I can't really remember now, because a much more awesome scene comes up immediately after. But we get a really fun chase scene between the mom and the real ghost in the form of the son, where the son runs into camera, and like somehow they were able to have the dead father come up in the same frame as the son, dressed the same way, everything. And it's like, when you see it, you'll know what I mean. But it's a very cool kind of visual trickery going on. And then I said the final 10 minutes is awesome. There's a lot of visual trickery with moving furnitures and ghost hands coming out of walls and the floor. And Daria Nickelodeon is just acting her heart out. I think this is her best role. And I'll get more into kind of the behind the scenes of why that is. And I said one of my final points was that the kid is ugly as fuck. I could not stand looking at that kid. He is so, like, just, ugh. He is unproportioned. He looks weird. I don't know. That kid just annoyed me. And he's not a good actor either. He's like... And also, I put on the English version, not the Italian. Because anytime I see the choices, I'm like, well, duh, I'm going to click the English because I get the dubbing. Like, it's not an Italian movie if you don't have the dubbing.
Exactly.
And so, God, whoever did the dubbing for that kid was even worse than the actor of the kid. It did not match at all. Half of it was 80 odd, where the kid would be facing away from the camera, and he would still be talking, but like, he's the actor on screen is not talking. It's really bizarre. I could not stand that kid, but overall, I thought the movie was just good. It's not my favorite. Blood and Black Lace is awesome. That's actually the movie that got him to make like the next 10 movies he had. And then he made this one, I believe. I think Black Sunday was his first big hit, and then it was Black Sabbath, I think, and then Blood and Black Lace. I haven't seen No, I have seen Black Sunday with what's her name? God.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she's in everything. She's in a
Yeah.
bunch of 60s and 70s.
Barbara
Or
Steele.
yeah,
Barbara
Barbara
Steele's nice.
Steele.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
She's in that, so I have seen it. I just haven't done a Mario Bava deep dive until this episode. But there's an awesome essay in this release, which I guess I should kind of do like an unboxing. Here's the B side, I guess, the theatrical poster.
Nice.
It looks awesome. There's a Daria Nickelodeon with all the furniture falling on her, and she's like cutting herself. The ending is very dour. I'll just say that. But there's an awesome booklet. It's very short. It's like 10 pages, 15 pages maybe. But it's quite long though. It's tiny font. They have a couple screenshots, but it's basically a history of Mario Bava and how his career led to him making this movie. And everyone not realizing this was his last movie because he died like 2 or 3 years later.
Oh well.
But the essay is written by Troy Howarth, who, if you don't know him, he's everywhere in the boutique Blu-ray world. He's in like every Italian release ever, especially the Dario Argento eras, Deep Red, Tenebrae, Bird of Crystal Plumage, Cat o' Nine Tails, Phenomena now, that's finally out. But he did like many different biographies before doing these releases. One was on the entire work and career of Mario Bava. Another one was Splintered Visions, which is a biography on Lucio Fulci. And then the most exciting one is the book called So Deadly, So Perverse, 50 Years of Italian Giallo Films, which is like an extensive book all about the Giallo genre, which I've been meaning to read. I'm sure it's out of print. I'm sure it's $200 on Amazon, but one day I'll get it because it looks really cool. But if you don't know, this was a collaboration between Mario Bava and his son Lamberto Bava.
Nice.
Which for some reason in my head, I never connected that they were father and son. That was just something that just flew over my head until the guy spelled it out for me. But the script was already written like 5 years before, 1973. Okay, I know 5 years before 77 and 72, but it was the year of 73, 74, 75, 76, and the first half of 77 that they made. So it's technically 5 years. But apparently they just couldn't get the script figured out. So Lamberto basically just fine-tuned it for the next 5 years or so. And Mario Bava was basically done directing by this point. And he and his son were like, hey, let's like do a movie together. Like, that'd be fun. And so he was like, okay, cool. And he had Mimsy Farmer, who is in many kind of movies, which are Four Flies on Grey Velvet, which is Dario Argento. She's in Black Cat, which is by Lucio Fulci, and Autopsy, which so Autopsy was in Volume 3 of the
okay.
Forgotten Gialli. So apparently I'm an expert on this actress, which I've never known even her name. But originally he wanted her to be the lead and to be the mother, but she couldn't do it. So they brought in Daria Nickelodeon, who had a lot of commercial appeal at that time, of course, because she had just done Deep Red, which is arguably the best Dario Argento movie. But they had a pretty short relationship with each other from 73 to 76, I think they say on this essay. And around that time that they were making this movie, they hated each other. And they were just completely ugly to each other. And the essay writer talked about how it just kept getting uglier for like many years, to the point where they don't even really work together well, I guess until Tenebrae and Phenomena and Opera, I think, are the 3 other movies she's done with him. But they had a huge falling out, so Mario Bava was like, "Hey, come work with me for a movie, and just refocus." And the author was talking about how this film can be pretty easily considered as a feminist film, and I'll quote from the essay, because the sympathies of the director are on the side of the woman, who fight like hell only to be undone by their own basic humanity. How fitting then that he should have ended his career collaborating with the feminine face of the new Italian horror film. Her natural strength and determination come through even in the least developed of her characters. Her talent is fully engaged in a way that is seldom evident in her work. For Dario Argento, who was, I guess, her husband, I think. I don't know if they ever got married or not, but
They have a Asia Argento's their kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if they ever married.
Argento. Yeah, I don't know if they married, but Asia's their kid.
Yeah, Asia
together,
Argento, who's in Trauma. This movie, man, I have a lot of because Vinegar Syndrome has done so many of these movies. I can just grab them off the shelf. But there's a lot of quotes by her, and I kind of known about this before, but I forgot about it. But Daria Nickelodeon did not like really any of her roles in any of the Argento movies, except maybe Deep Red. She said she hated her character in Tenebrae, Phenomena, and Opera. And she said this movie was the really only time that she felt like she could work on her acting and really show off her acting chops, because she's the best part of the movie, in my opinion. Because she is just way better than any of her other characters she's ever played. She has a wide range of emotions. She can quickly shift from, relaxed to frightful or scared or stressed, like in a blink of an eye. And she's awesome in this. And she was talking about Mario Bava on the essay. Well, not talking about it, but he was quoting her from an interview she had done back, like, right after this movie came out. How she was just absolutely in love with Mario Bava, not romantically, but as an actor, because he was very, I guess, open with her and worked with her and made sure she was able to get the scenes right. And Mario Bava, later in the essay, as he's quoted, jokes about how easy it was for her to do the emotional scenes, because they had she and Dario Argento had just like broken up basically, and she had a 2-year-old daughter, and she was basically a single mother after they had a huge falling out. And so Mario Bava was like, I guess luck was on my side that she was able to stop crying on cue, because she was actually crying because of how in pain and hurt she was. Like, I was like, well, you gotta take,
real.
Yeah, you gotta take your advantages, I guess, as a director.
Yeah.
But I've already mentioned this, but the music is done by the band E Libra, which is another kind of Italian pop rock group who is sort of a Goblin clone, as I said, but that's mostly because the drummer came from Goblin. And I maintain that the drums and the keyboard are the big pieces to why that's awesome. To why Goblin is awesome. So, yeah, this movie is pretty good. I've
seen it.
But, have you?
I forgot about it. You're like giving me some memories right now. So, I completely.
So I remember you had said like, oh, I wouldn't say I don't recommend it, but if you have a chance, watch it.
Yeah.
I definitely rank Muscle Bodybuilder and Hell a lot higher than this. I had a lot more fun with that. It's a lot shorter. This one's an hour and a half, I think, exactly. 93 minutes. So I mean, it's 30 minutes longer than Bodybuilder, but I just really like the essay in this. I don't know anything about Mario Bava, but the essay gave me everything I needed to really do that.
Mm.
And plus, there's an interview on this with Stephen Throwaway, who is a huge Italian film fan, and he did, just to do this again, to grab a copy off of the wall. He did 2 interviews all about not Dario Argento, about Jess Franco on the Jess Franco double pack from Vinegar Syndrome, and
Nice.
he's an encyclopedia, and so I should have watched it, the interview with him, but I just wanted to shout him out. But yeah, it's a nice little release. Lots of special features. The movie itself, though, and it's okay. I haven't seen the original because technically it's a sequel to Beyond the Darkness or whatever it's called, Beyond the Door. So,
That one's a fun one. Exorcist ripoff.
oh yeah,
It's fun.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen that one.
it's a good one.
So I don't know where I put Muscle Bodybuilder. I'll just throw it over there. But that's really all I have for that movie. It's fun. Essay's awesome.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good too. And like you said, Daria, I'm bad at names, but Nickelodeon, she's excellent in that film. I agree.
Yeah.
That's her best acting role, like solo. Like I think she had more freedom. Like
Oh
how you
yeah.
said, all that tension with her and Argento. It was good to see her go on her own path there and take weight off her shoulders or whatever. I think it really showed.
Yeah, on the essay, he mentioned how Dario Argento basically just used her as like a muse or whatever, kind of like how Hitchcock had his blondes. Argento just had
Mhm.
Daria Nickelodeon and didn't let her really do anything, big or major
Mhm.
or breakthroughs or anything. So,
That's a shame because she's talented. She's so
oh yeah,
talented.
just watching this movie alone, like you can tell she has so much talent, and it's a shame that Dario
Yeah,
Argento didn't really use that. So,
crazy.
what's the best one, or highest rated at least?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into this one, and this one I'm gonna say was like I picked it out of a hat pretty much, because
Ooh,
like it's
random choice is
I,
always fun.
I didn't even expect it. I just got it. I got it on a Scream Factory sale, and it was still in the plastic. I had to open it.
Ooh, that's
So
always
and
nice. Knocking out your watch. Hey, you're withering your watch pile. There you go.
there you go. Yeah, exactly. But this is 1977's The Sentinel. That's from Scream Factory.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
But I got this recommended to me by like 5 different people, so I picked it up. And I was like, I finally got to see this, so I unwrapped it, put it on, and okay, I get the hype on this one. This one's fucking bad. Yeah, I get why people recommend this one, but I'm just gonna start with a cast because this cast is just all star right here. I'm just gonna
Ooh.
go Chris Sarandon, Fright Night, uh, John Carradine, Jeff Goldblum debut,
Oh, debut. Oh.
Christopher Walken
Oh
could be
my.
a debut as well. Tom Berenger debut, Beverly D'Angelo debut, and Ava Gardner. I mean, this cast is
Was this produced
loaded.
by Roger Corman? So many high profile
Oh,
people.
I'm telling you, this is an all star cast, and I mean they're young, but this is pretty much about a New York model and her boyfriend. The model's name is Ellison, and they decide to they're they're in love with each other, but I guess the husband's had bad luck with his exes. He had one that was committed suicide,
Hmm.
another one that drank herself to death or something like that. I don't remember, but he's just had bad luck with his exes. So I think she might even been his mistress. So and
Hmm.
they got together, and she just doesn't want to move quick. So he's a lawyer. He's successful. He wants her to move in with him and marry him. But she's like, I want to take it slow and I want to get my own apartment. And we can meet now and then and see how it goes from there. So
Hmm.
she ends up getting an apartment in New York, and it's real odd because she gets into this apartment. We got Ava Gardner playing the pretty much the real estate agent.
Hmm.
She's bizarre, and they take her to this apartment. It's real antique like, and you got a lot of like antiques and old stuff from there. And she moves in there, and she starts to right away just like uh experience strange events.
Hmm.
And there's a neighbor played by I forgot to mention him, Burgess Meredith,
Ooh.
Mickey from Rocky. And he's in this, and it's a way different character, man. He's like this guy, he has a cat, and he's all like a pet loving guy, and you know he's different. Like when you see him from Mickey on Rocky, this is a way different character, but he's a real strange guy, and he keeps showing up in her apartment and like I guess flirting with her,
It's just like
and
Rocky.
she's like, cause she, yeah, she's an attractive model, you know, but she's like, he's cute, you know, the old man, he's cute. I just enjoy him. The husband's like, oh, do I have to worry here? Or the
uh,
boyfriend, he's joking around and stuff, and anyways, it's really creepy because like you go into this apartment, you don't know what's reality and what's not. What's really like stuff could be real, stuff couldn't. It just takes that haunting through the whole apartment complex, and she starts to investigate strange events. She has a past with her dad that's real sleazy and bizarre,
Ew.
and it starts to appear in this apartment. She starts to see like supernatural things involving her dad, and it's real creepy. And after that, she just starts to question it, and like she goes to the landlord and says like, "Well, I met these people. These people are weird. These ones are nice. These ones are kind of odd." And she's like, how did you meet people? It's only you and this priest in that apartment. So she starts to be like
Dun-dun-dun.
question her whole sanity. Like, what the? I just saw a bunch of neighbors around me. So she's like, she starts to investigate, and then it switches to her fiance trying to investigate. He gets her out of the building. He's like, it's not safe there, and he starts to unravel like a pretty much a kind of like culty premise here, and it leads to some pretty awesome like supernatural and sadism. That's crazy, man.
Ooh,
Like,
so it's like Rosemary's Baby.
yeah, it's. But man, the fucking effects at the end of this movie, dude, I'm telling you, like, are ahead of its time. Because this is a 1977 movie, and you get like blood and gore and sleaze and
I think it's the same year as
bizarreness.
The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, like kind of like that. But I'm gonna tell you, it does have slow moments. There's a lot of
Oh no.
dragging moments, but stick with it till that ending because that ending has a good payoff.
Do you know who
It's
directs it?
who's that?
That
I
fucker,
don't.
Michael Winner.
Yeah, Michael Winner. Yeah.
The guy who did Death Wish. Okay,
Hey,
Death Wish 2.
Jeff Goldblum's in here.
So
Death
that's why
Wish
he shows
connection.
up in Death Wish 1.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And it's funny
Oh,
because they only use Jeff Goldblum for a scene. He's dubbed throughout the other scenes. He's just dubbed.
boo.
But like I said, it's bizarre. It has a good payoff, and I guess the director we're speaking of him, I might as well bring up that he wanted Martin Sheen to be the lead male in this film, but I
Ooh.
guess it didn't happen, so he gave it to Chris Sarandon. And Chris Sarandon does good, man. They said he had just came off of what was that film? He came off of a film that really impressed the director, so that's why he hired him. I can't remember the film, but
Hmm.
there's a scene where you have these people that are deformed, and they're real people with deformities that they used in the film.
Hmm.
Like I think a couple of them are in like some freak show movies back in the day.
Oh.
But
Well, with Michael
it's
Winner, I'm sure he exploited them.
yeah, it's bizarre, man. And you got Beverly D'Angelo from like National Lampoon's Vacation and all. This was her debut, and she it has a scene where she's pleasuring herself right
Hmm.
in front of the girl. They're just visiting her apartment. She's pleasuring herself, and I think her girlfriend's the psychic girl from Funhouse, the one that's I don't know if you've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Funhouse, Toby Hooper.
Yep.
It's that same lady, and
Hmm.
they're like a lesbian couple, and there's real bizarre scenes involving them, even cannibalism and shit like that. It's like crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I just love this movie all around. This one's like probably one of my top films I've seen in a while, and I put on here 4 out of 5, 70s gem. I put so I must have really liked it,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's just so fucking bizarre, dude. This movie, and then like the cast is so great. Like you have all these all-star casts, and they're not even well known at the time, I don't think, but
Mm-hmm.
you could see the talent. Because I guess the director said that I forgot the main actress's name. I know it's Allison, but I don't know her real name. But I guess the director didn't even want her. He wanted Beverly D'Angelo to be the main. He thought she could have handled it better because she plays a mute in this movie. She don't say nothing.
Hmm.
But he said that she would have been a better lead female role. She was that talented, I guess.
Hmm.
But never happened. I guess events turned and they went with what they had there. But yeah, if you ever come across this film, I'd recommend it. I put it up there with The Exorcist. Not as good as The Exorcist, but
Yeah.
it's one of those type of 70s bizarreness that you got to check out.
Yeah, I looked it up, and Exorcist came out in '73, so a couple years before. For some
A
reason,
couple
I
years
thought it was
before.
'77. So
And this ain't a demonic film, it's a supernatural more, but
okay,
it does have a
so
gates of hell that opens in
I'm
this
not the
film.
only one who cheated. Good.
Yeah, yeah. You're not the only one. But yeah, that was my favorite, and I highly recommend that one.
Well, my last one is one that I loved. I wanted to rewatch it over and over, like I did with Righting Wrongs. That's how awesome it was.
Wow.
This is from 1986, so a couple years after Evil Dead, directed by somebody we all dearly love, Lam Nai Choi. He did Ricky-O. This is not what
Oh,
I
nice.
watched, but he
Okay.
directed Ricky-O, just to kind of set the context. This is his supernatural martial arts film. It's a 88 films release. It's a big box. I love it. Starring everybody's favorite Maggie Chung, who is in like every awesome Chinese martial arts movie ever. I know her mostly from the world of Wong Kar Wai, which is a box set from Criterion of all the Wong Kar Wai films. She's in the Mood for Love, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's really fucking good. She's in it. Chow Yun Fat is in it. Not really utilized to the best of his ability, but and a bunch of other people who I recognize, but I can't. I'm not gonna pretend like I know them. But this is The Seventh Curse.
Mm.
I loved this movie. This was awesome. This was so much fun, bizarre, exploitative, action packed. It had everything. I'll just read the back of the box of what the story is. When Dr. Yuan, played by Chen Su Ho, attempts to rescue a girl about to be sacrificed by the Worm tribe in the middle of a jungle in Thailand, he is damned with 7 blood curses and must return there to find a permanent cure. Though he finds a temporary antidote, this will only last a year, and he must return to the jungle to find a permanent cure. The Seventh Curse is an adventurous story of lost tribes and deadly magic, uh, featuring strange locales, evil sorcerers, and monsters. This movie was so fucking awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. It's action packed. Uh, I'll just go right into my notes now. It starts right off the bat with a really great opening action scene that is about saving hostages. And there's martial arts and there's gunplay. It's just a whole lot of fun, and we get an introduction to Maggie Chung, who plays a news reporter. And apparently, she's known a lot more for her action movies, but I know her for her romantic films, which she only did like 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them were done by Wong Kar Wai, which I I don't have enough reach to grab it off the shelf. But she's great in this movie. She's hilarious. She's like the hilarious sidekick, and there's an awesome intro to the plot after the hostage scene because every Hong Kong action movie requires some sort of disconnected action scene to get you ready and pumped for the awesome epicness that will soon be coming. And this one is a hostage situation, and after that, we get a ninja by the name of Black Dragon. He fights for a minute with our main protagonist and then says, "Hey, weren't you the guy who got like 7 blood curses? Like, I think one of your curses is about to go off, and we get our first scene of the blood curse unleashing. And what it is basically it explodes an appendage of him, and it blows off his thigh or something, like a shower of blood and guts and
Oh,
flesh. It is so awesome. Uh, so he has to go to Thailand, back to the temple where the worm tribe is, which is like so disgusting. I don't like worms, but they have a temple sacrifice flashback scene because Chow Yun Fat had been there for like a graduate studies kind of field trip to do research, and he witnesses a sacrifice at the temple, and we get a small little necrophiles looking creature, which if you missed it earlier is this nasty little thing. We get an exact copy of that in this movie,
oh,
except it's a little more monstrous, like pig looking, with sharp teeth. But it just flies at everybody at the sacrifice, and it eats people's necks off, eats the flesh. There is so much blood and guts
wow.
in the scene, and it's awesome. Uh, and soon after, the little baby necrophiles thing escapes and goes back to the vessel of the sacrifice. Our characters rescue the other sacrifice that was next in line, and they piss off a big chunk of the tribe, and they go running into a temple. So then they get kind of cornered in a crypt room, like a tomb room, where there's a bunch of tombs and graves and all this stuff. And the king skeleton comes back to life and fights them in martial arts glory, jumping
Wow.
around, cutting people with scimitars, and oh my god, it is so much fun. And then that's only like halfway through the movie. And then we see oh, this is when Chow Yun Fat is infected with his 7 curses. And he kind of brings it back to Hong Kong, where our main character with the glasses on the front, he gets infected with it too, with Chow Yun Fat. And so they go back after finding an antidote, and then a year later we're moving, so we're kind of caught up with the behind the scenes of what's going on. But there's an awesome scene of our group of characters going towards the temple again, and almost the entire crew gets taken out instantly, outside of Chow Yun Fat, Maggie Chung, and our main character. There's like 10 people going through the forest, and we spent the entire half movie getting to know them, and they all get killed in Rambo-like traps in the woods. And it is so awesome. And Maggie Chung is like, "Oh, I saw this in Rambo or Predator. Like, I can do this." And she's like flipping through, dodging all the traps. Oh my god, this movie is so much fun. It's an hour and a half, I believe. I just dropped it. It's 80 minutes actually. Actually,
Wow.
83 minutes. 80 minutes is the censored cut. Which, don't watch the censored. Oh my god, I watched the uncut director's cut or whatever, and oh my god, it is so bloody. But during the temple raid, when they finally get to where there's 2 gemstones that they each have to swallow to flush out the 7 curses. And during that scene, they witness some of the tribesmen taking children and dropping them into a pit in which 2 stone vices slowly come together and crush them. And then you see a guy, because it's like a big cube of like a mound or whatever, and they drop them into this pit that's like, I guess ground level, and then they have above ground vices come and they crush them, and then you see a kind of cult member in the by the side of the thing, get catching all the blood that is leaking out of the crack of the vice to collect the children's blood to then use for the sacrifice. It is so awesome. This movie is way bizarre and like way out there. And I didn't write about the ending, but yeah, the rest of the movie after that is just martial arts uh, fun. I don't know how else to describe it, but this movie was an immediate 5 star out of 5 for me on Letterboxd. And I
Wow.
do not give fives like often at all, but this movie is even better than Righting Wrongs in my opinion. Righting Wrongs is awesome. I love it. Go watch my review to see my proof that I love it. But this movie is just so much bloodier. It has the supernatural element. It has kung fu fighting skeleton kings fighting Chow Yun
Wow.
Fat. Like you
Can't go wrong there.
can't go wrong there. You can't get any better than that. This movie was so awesome, and I believe that he did Ricky O after this. Ricky O was
Mm.
1992, so if you want to do a double feature of both of these films here, you should do it. Watch Ricky O first, because I like that movie a lot. It's like a 4 star for me. But I've slowly kind of. It's been like the third or fourth watch that I've finally gotten to that point. It's always been a 3 star for me, but Seventh Curse was just an immediate awesomeness. Also, I read the essay, which this is a giant fucking essay book. It's like 60 pages or something. I only read the first essay, and I can't show the font really. But this is what the essay book looks like.
Oh shoot.
I'm blocking the nudity here, but it's awesome. It's very long. Hopefully nothing shows up. But yeah, it is insane. And they have a 40-page essay in this that I read that is all about the history of Hong Kong horror films. And oh my god,
Wow.
they give you. It's written by let me find his name. Um, I had his name like ready when I first did this. Oh, by Matthew Edwards, and I'm not sure what his credentials are, but I've heard he's done many essays according to the back of the essay. When you get to the end and it says like, oh, he's a writer for this, writer for that. But oh my god, I want to watch it again like soon. I loved the Seventh Curse. That this was an obvious number one. I was kind of like, yeah, this can't get really any better. And I watched Shock, and I was like, yep, can't get any better. So, yeah, I'm done with
I,
that. Have you seen Seventh Curse?
I haven't. I looked it up. It's already like out of print.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't
It's already
getting
like
rid of
sold out everywhere.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not selling it.
I just looked it up now to see copies, and they're like $100 on eBay and stuff.
I paid like 30, I think,
Yeah, it's like
from
sold out
Diabolic.
everywhere.
No, it was Orbit. This was one of the pre-orders I made back in like April. I've just been
Wow.
waiting, watching as many Hong Kong films as I can so I can familiarize. But
Yeah, it sold out really quick. It's gone. I was looking at it. That sounds like a blast. Just what you're telling me there. I was like, wow.
the only issue I have is that Chow Yun Fat is like not like Chow Yun Fat and like Hard Boiled or like The Killer, like in those
Hmm.
like gun fu movies as they call it, that genre. Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, the rest of the movie is just so awesome that I don't care. So like, okay, whatever. Like Chow Yun Fat didn't get his awesome action scenes.
Kick ass shit.
Yeah, but I guess that's it for ours. Uh, and unfortunately, this will be, I think, the last one we do for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because if y'all don't know yet, October is imminent, within the next week, and then I'm gone next weekend anyways. It's my birthday, so I'll be watching movies.
Hmm.
And then I'm doing the 31 Days of Horror. I'm pretty sure you are doing it too.
Yeah, I'm doing it too, so it's gonna be hectic.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can do that because I review every movie of Spooktober. So it'd be hard to watch, like, I don't know, 3 movies a day to get to the what we do here. So I think that'll give us
Hmm.
a lot of time, and we may have a surprise series coming up. So I don't want to commit to a theme yet, but I mean, it'll be a surprise no matter what for the viewers. We'll probably decide
Yeah,
uh, kind of on our own. But
real excited for that. That's all I gotta say.
yep. First watch series. I'm excited.
Mhm.
Um, can't be Zatuichi, unfortunately, but for those who are wondering,
Not not Ichi from the grave or nothing like that.
they should have made a zombie Zatuichi film.
Yeah.
So that is it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, Cultflix, for joining back with me today. Had a lot of fun.
Thanks, Christian, for having me, man. It's always a blast, and I look forward to our future content.
Awesome.